I just apply this concept called the content factory to be able to get the most out of that and make it visible. The internet makes things visible.
Nobody talks about with that is what Dennis is talking about too is, like using the analogy he brought up in the beginning of like the surgeon versus, the door-to-door knocking on your door. Hey, do you want to buy one of my things? Is the frame that the client comes in the door with makes everything that happens after infinitely easier, because they've already came to you as the surgeon, as the expert, as the go-to person. As where if you kind of like knocked on their door and said, hey, I want to sell you some dentist Facebook ads, you may break through, but there's instantly like I would call it like a distrust and a hatred of marketers that you inherit, because they've probably had so many bad experiences with people who are like kind of made similar promises to you. Mm-hmm. And so you're almost like fighting the client every step of the way, as where when they come in the door, mm-hmm. and you're the most trusted surgeon in 3 states, there's a, hey, I'll just let you do your thing. There's like a tangible trust that translates to people being happier, staying longer, valuing what you do, paying more, actually getting the results because they follow your recommendations. Mm-hmm. And so those are the intangible ROI things that you can't easily measure, versus like, oh, I knocked on 7 doors and 2 of them answered and I made 1 sale, ergo my ROI is that. But you don't necessarily see what that looks like when you project that 3, 4, 5 years into the long game. And as obviously like you're playing the long game better than probably anybody I know, but you see the long-term effects of starting those with warm relationships and using kind of basically, I mean, what you've taken is old school introduction referral kind of tactics that have stood the test of time, and then in many ways created like a modernized digital version of it, where you're using the power of technology and leverage and advertisements to enhance those things, which I think is really intelligent.
There's nothing new in what I'm doing. This existed before there was an internet. Building relationships and having trust. I just apply this concept called the content factory to be able to get the most out of that and make it visible. The internet makes things visible. So I'm just taking advantage of that. And things like the iPhone and Google Photos automatically tag who the people are and where they're from and whatnot. So I can repurpose the heck out of it a lot easier. A lot of the tools like a Descript or a Frame.io or a Jarvis or whatever make it so much easier. Let me share a couple more examples. So I did that mastermind call with PILMA, which is full of the personal injury attorneys. And one of the guys who runs digital marketing for the Kansas City accident attorneys, he was so struck that he made a video. Because he reached out to me on LinkedIn, and I said something like, if you're so inspired, you should make a 1-minute video about what you've learned. And this is what we got.
I just got off a call with Dennis Yu, and we are doing strength training at Kansas City Accident Injury Attorneys. And I just wanted to say thank you to Dennis. He met with me one-on-one, gave me some super good marketing advice and pointers for how to have real relationships with our clients, even though we're in this age of digital Zoom calls and all of this stuff where you're not having a connection with your clients. But he worked with me to kind of generate some plans that we can use here at Kansas City Accident Injury Attorneys going forward. And I'm super excited to see what we can do. And thank you, Dennis Yu, you're awesome.
So isn't that, like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, you're spot on. Like if you promote that, that'll sign you way more clients than any amount of, we're the #1 rated Facebook ad company by ABC and showing here's our testimonials and things like you mentioned. Because the other thing too is when you build real relationships this way and then leverage them like you're doing through social media, is in many ways it's like a testimonial that people don't realize is a testimonial for that reason, because it's a content testimonial. It has a different effect. Like if I go on camera and say, oh, we use Dennis Yu and I highly recommend his services. Give him a try. People are very aware that it's a testimonial. But if they're like, hey, I just sat down with this guy, we did this cool thing, wanted to share it, it's much more organic. You know, it's the same reason why case studies are always better than testimonials, because they're teaching examples of what you've done. And you know, that to me is a perfect example of it, is like people get to see. And there's always this embedded assumption like that people will pick up on, which is, well, if somebody like that is using Dennis, then I want that too, right? Like you don't even have to say that with any words.
So let me ask you, Frankie, to see what you think. So he was doing a workout instead, you know, so he's breathing while he's breathing hard because he's working out and talking about this. How does that hit differently than him being in a studio giving this professional sounding testimonial?
Yeah, I mean, a professional sounding testimonial is a commercial that you're aware is a commercial, as were this, like, you know, it's so organic that it just like the skepticism people bring to it isn't the same. Like it really just kind of lands. I found some of the same things, right? Like it's amazing, like people, I think today in this day and age too, especially like with just how much bullshit there is on social media, like kind of think at least some testimonials are fake. But when somebody says, hey, Dennis just came into my office, we're one-on-one, he gave me a plan, I'm really stoked to implement it. Nobody thinks, oh, he just, you know, paid for a testimonial or anything. They just think they're just sharing their experience, which they are. Obviously, you've asked them to do that, but there's a real magic in that.
Yeah, that's the key, because there's so much nonsense and people yelling and trying to, you know, whatever, yell at people and stand out, that the more authentic things that look authentic carry way more trust. So here's a bunch of these Zoom calls, and here's one from yesterday afternoon, and it's with Bill Hauser, who is,
I know Bill.
Yeah, well, for those people that do lawyer marketing, he's got a $20 million firm, and he has however many clients, a lot.
They're probably one of the biggest agencies in our industry, if not, you know, top five.
Him, here we are. He's eating some chips.
Repurposing this.
See, he even knows we're going to repurpose this. But look at this. So I pull out the guitar. He asked me to sing a song. And I sing
Dude,
Mary
I
Land.
get to hear you sing here.
So I tune the guitar, always it's out of tune.
Ready? I got some funny stuff.
So we're talking about all kinds of stuff. Now I'm coaching him on what he needs to do for his agency. He's already a pro, so I'm coaching pros. I'm showing where he's already ranking on PPC for law firms very well. We're doing a little SEO audit, content audit, talking about how he's not repurposing his best content. And then at the end, I'm showing also how I gift, because people don't seem to do that. But listen to what he has to say at the end of this call.
It's so gold right there.
It's like cheating. It's so good if you implement. In fact, you could offer shit service and they would still stay with you. Not to say that's an excuse for doing that.
So, hey, let me do this. I got to send you the summary email to my team. I'm going to include blissmetrics.com/ACL. That's the link, right?
Yep.
So I got to go to the airport right now. I'm going to Chicago. I'm speaking in front of all these lawyers tomorrow.
Good.
Here, let me send I'm going to send a photo to Josh Nelson. We just did an interview on his Inc. 5000 pin. Give me 1 second. Ready? You there? All right. Oh, actually, here, I'll do it like this. I'll do it. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. So. All right, cool.
Yeah, tag me and Josh on Facebook. Josh has got a VA, so, but he'll see it if you actually tag.
Dennis, I think it's frozen at my end.
I feel like I have buckets in my head now as to where your wisdom is going to be best channeled in as we continue working together. So it means a lot to me because you have so much wisdom that it's.
Too kind.
I feel like I can ask you any question on anything in life because of your positioning. So yeah.
Can I quote you on that?
Yes. Cool. All right. So
can I quote you on that? They say yes every time. And I can literally go to Zoom call after Zoom call and listen to the part at the end where they say something really nice. Like here, this guy is a boss in digital marketing, Matthew Roach. If you're in the hotel space or in the travel space, super well known. Anyone in travel is going to know, just like there's figureheads, like you said, in every single industry, right? So then if we listen to what he has to say.
Can I just add before you get to that quote?
Yeah.
Is the other thing that I don't think people realize enough, it's way more fun to create low-key content, eating tacos, talking shit, having a good time, than it is to have to create overly formalized kind of.
It's awkward and staged. It's not right. The
Yeah.
vibe is not right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you can see this guy says some incredible stuff on like, I wouldn't trust anybody else. I have all these people trying to sell me digital marketing. You're the only one I'd listen to. And then you can see I'm laughing about it because I think it's awesome. But let's see what he has to say. This is just yesterday.
Brilliant knowing you, because there are sometimes, I mean, I'm probably asking you pretty low level questions, but there are questions that sometimes it's so hard to get the answers for. And even when I ask agencies some of these questions, I know that they don't even know as much as I do, you know, but I really doubt some of these agencies and how good they are, effective. And you're the only person I really trust who actually really knows how to do this. So, I mean, obviously there are other people in the world, but probably even.
That means a lot to me. I appreciate that. Can I quote you on that?
You can give me, you can do Mr. Moto from me. Yeah. If you can get my site to be really big, Dennis, then I'll.
Okay. So you see, I'm literally doing this all day long. And he's been a client for 6 years, 7 years.